Treno to Lindblum and back, Vivi Ornitier is where it's at. Let's build a cEDH version of Vivi Ornitier, a brand new commander from Final Fantasy, and an absolute all-time favorite character. I'm Warren with Crackerjack Games. If you like cool cards and hot deck techs, be sure to like, follow, and share this video. Let me know your favorite Final Fantasy game of all time. So here he is, Vivi Ornitier, a black mage. 3 mana 0/3, that's terrible. But he has the ability whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a counter on him and deal 1 damage to each opponent. So as a one-time per your turn activation of 0, add X mana in any combination of blue or red, where X is his power. That's insane. This deck just screams Storm. It builds you double mana essentially, and it builds you damage as you go. So he's the mana engine and the outlet in the command zone. Truly powerful, truly awesome. Let's take a look at what we're doing. Now the Izzet Spellslinger shell in cEDH is fairly well established. We're playing cards like Harmonic Prodigy. This will get Vivi to trigger the damage twice per spell. Realm Monsoon Mage makes all of our instants and sorceries cost 1 less, and on his own he's a pretty powerful deck as well. As you build Storm with your non-creature spells, he'll flip and give you extra loyalty for all of your instants and sorceries. When he does, he becomes a Ral Leyline Prodigy, and very often you flip and you immediately get to exile him, giving you 8 more cards off the top of your library, and all the instants and sorceries in that pile will be free to cast. And every one of them that you cast with Vivi on the battlefield is just 1 more damage to each of your opponents. Like any good Storm deck, I really do think turn 3 wins with this are gonna go really unrespected until everyone realizes the power of Vivi. Now, making mana is really important, so we're playing another Storm staple with Birgi, God of Storytelling. Cast a spell, make a red, don't lose red. You think you have enough mana when you draw Birgi? Play it as Harnfell, Horn of Bounty, and turn all of your extra cards into even more extra cards. The other Holy Trinity piece for our Izzet Spellslingers is Veyran, Voice of Duality. Veyran gets bigger as you cast instants and sorceries and copy them, but triggered abilities from casting and copying instants and sorceries trigger again. So it's like double prowess for Veyran, but on top of that, Vivi will trigger twice, Harmonic Prodigy will trigger twice, Ral will trigger twice as well. Speaking of double triggers, Roaming Throne goes in this deck. If you don't have a copy of this card, it pretty much goes in any commander deck now. Some double triggers just end the game with the right commander in play. I'm looking at you, Birgi. Stormkel Nardis builds us more mana with all the treasures you get for its Magecraft ability. One of the cards I think that should be played in this deck that other Spellslinger decks aren't playing is O'Hare Pakpatik. People are going to look at the 4 mana and say it's not worth it, but the first round of spells that you start casting are going to get exiled and allow you to cast them as rebounded cards your next turn, which will build Storm before you even make any mana or play any other spells. And I think that is just going to lead to a next turn win the game. Of course, if they remove it, you get a land. And ramp in blue is always cool. And then the big creature that goes in this deck, the one that was 16 cents not but 3 days ago, but now is somewhere around $8 to $15, is Quicksilver Elemental. For just a blue, you can have it gain Vivi's ability to make mana. And you think to yourself, okay, well, it will get to make 3 mana, big deal. But you can use that mana to give it Vivi's ability again, which is a new instance of the ability. And so, for 1 blue mana, followed by another blue mana, you can start a loop of making blue or red mana over and over and over again. Now, what are you going to do with all that mana? It doesn't matter. It's infinite. Do whatever you want. Obviously, in a Spellslinger deck, we're low to the ground with our spells, and we're playing the good ones. So we got Gam, we're playing Overmaster to keep things from being countered. Cataxian Probe is free and it draws a card. You get to play cantrips in this deck, so you get to play Ponder, you get to play Preordain. Jessica's Will is a cantrip on steroids, and it's gonna make you mana, so that's real cool. Because Vivi makes mana on its own, Savor the Moment is a really good extra turn spell in this deck. You have a huge turn, you play Savor the Moment. The game's not quite over, but Vivi's got like 10 to 12 counters on it. Doesn't matter if your lands don't untap. You're going to have 12 mana to play with on your next turn anyways. And of course, it's cEDH, so we're playing Final Fortune. Slipping in between 2 people's turns and finishing the game off is always such a huge thing that you can do in red, so why wouldn't we do it here? Talking about cantrips, we're getting some bonus sheet looking cantrips from Final Fantasy. Here's Endwalker, which is a copy of Brainstorm. Of course, our Storm deck has rituals. We're playing Pyretic Ritual, and it's functionally equal Desperate Ritual. And then the other big thing that Vivi allows us to do is play Curiosity effects. Now with Curiosity itself attached to Vivi, whenever you deal a damage to your opponents, you'll draw 3 cards. So now we have cast a spell, deal a damage to each of our opponents, Ancestral Recall every time. That's a thing of beauty. We have more repeatable effects like that. We have Ophidian Eye, another enchantment. This one has Flash, and Tandem Lookout with Soul Bond. Malcolm and Tana players from back in the day know all about this card. So is Vivi going to be a super popular commander casually? Absolutely. Is it going to be a super powerful commander in cEDH? You betcha. You've watched this video all the way to here. In the comments is my Moxfield link for the full deck list. Hit that subscribe. I hope this helps.